Hello, this is Chris from Team SHITboX, bringing you a Dino-Rabbit deck profile for the new format. The ban list pretty much skipped over this deck, so that's why I'm still running it. And right now I'm running on cards that I do have, so I am out some cards, but I think this is still a really good build. So we'll start it out with the engine. You have your 3 Rescue Rabbit, and then the vanilla monsters that come along. So I had 3 Cabazels and 3 Sabersaurus. Essentially, he grabs them, you make them into XYZ monsters. They're like turning into Solemn Judgments and Effect Negation, and that's really important in this format. So that's essentially the main engine. Now the secondary engine is 3 Tour Guide and 1 Sangan. Now this just essentially makes it so you can bring out the Rabbit easier through Leviair and just all around make good cards like Zen Mains and all that good stuff. So that's the secondary engine of the deck to make it run smoother. And honestly, there's no way to run the deck without the Tour Guides. Now for all the extra cards that are truly just a support system is I run 3 Dirac Guaiba, which helps makes XYZs even more, and the Evolzer monsters are just truly the heart and soul of the deck, so I think that's pretty good. And then I run 3 Effect Veiler, 1 DD Crow, 1 Reaper, and 1 Gores. I'd run Maxis and probably not the Crow in the main build, but I don't have any Maxis, but right now this is working really well for me, so I don't regret any of the decisions. And that's it for the monsters. I think Gores, Spirit Reaper, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, 2 Spirit Reapers might even be good too because it really helps against the mirror match. And as for the spell cards, I run 1 Pot of Avarice. Recycles, you +1 off of it, all around good card, allows you to use Rabbit again. Smashing Ground, it's one of the ways you run Spirit Reaper, one of the huge problems against this deck. Then I run 1 Monster Reborn and 1 Mind Control. They essentially take monsters, whether it's coming back or sitting your opponents. The only way you'll ever sync or summon in this deck. And all around just creates so much advantage. And then I run each of the big destruction cards, 1 Dark Hole, 1 Heavy Storm. Destroys Magic and Trap, destroys monsters. They're too good not to run. I know some people don't run Heavy Storm and run 3 MSTs, but I prefer to run the Heavy Storm. And then I run 1 Lance and 2 MST. I don't think 3 MST is needed, but some people do. I only run 2, it gets me there. Forbidden Lance, I'd probably run 2 if I had another one, because of cards like Guaiba. But overall, it protects monsters, catches your opponent off guard when they declare attacks, so I think this is a pretty good card. And that's it for the magic cards. So now onto the trap cards. I run 1 Mirror Force and 3 Deep Prison to stall out the attacks, to take their monsters, destroy them, all the good stuff. I really like Deep Prison as a card. People run 2, I choose to run 3. I like the fact that it removes, and it's just all around, you know, a good 1-for-1 card. And then also for the traps, I run 1 Starlight Road, Protection. Tons of things are going to be blowing up more than 1 card this format, with Black Rose Dragons, the 2 Torrentials, and then cards like Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, all the likes. So I run 2 Torrential Tribute, the cards at 2, testing it out. I mean, it may not work, but it sounds really good on paper. And then the final trap cards, I run the Solemn Grade. 2 Warning, 1 Judgment, 2 good cards not to run. This pretty much helps against every single deck, and Judgment's just a very good card. I know some people don't run Judgment, but it negates everything, and it's just 1 more Solemn the deck creates. So that's the main board right there. It's been working pretty well for me, and now I'll show you the extra deck. The main board was 51 cards though, just to point that out. So in the extra deck I run 2 Leviair. The card makes tons of big plays in this deck, allows you to reuse rabbits, what Tour Guide grabs, all that good stuff. I run 1 Leviathan Dragon. He's good to push over high attack, you know, if you have a problem with a Thunder King, anything like that. I run 1 Zen Mains, good stall. Overall, pretty well. I actually really like the design of the card. I don't like how it's just a better Gachi Gachi, but I think it's a really nice card. I think everybody needs 1 copy of it. And then for the actual part of the deck, I run 2 Lagia, 1 Dolka. I'd probably run another Dolka, and I'd even debate running another Lagia, but right now this works for me. And it's the main cards. This one's a Solemn Judgment, but you remove both of the materials, and this one negates effects and destroys them, but you only remove 1. So it's circumstantial to as which one would be better. And then the final XYZ monster I run is number 39, Utopia. He's just all around good when you run out of Volzars, or you just need that 100 more attack. His effect is essentially negating attacks, so it's also good for stall. So that's why I run him. And now into the Synchro monsters, I run 1 Armory Arm, just a level 4. In theory, it can kill Spirit Reaper. My level 5 is Hyper Librarian. I like it over the other cards because there's synchro summoning in this game. Not so much anymore, so I may think of another card, but you'll draw off of their synchro summoning. So that's my level 5. My level 6 is Gaia, big attack, nice level 6. Black Rose for level 7, blows up the field, does work. Stardust Dragon because of the Starlight Road, and it's a level 8. My other level 8 is Colossal Fighter. I'm kind of testing it out right now, but I mean, you don't synchro summon that much, so it's probably not important at all. But then I run this as the one fusion in the extra deck, the final card. And that's because this deck doesn't synchro summon, so the synchro monsters are not that important. But having one more side deck space instead of running that in the side deck is really important to me, so I main deck it for the matchup of Kara Courier, any deck that runs Cyber Dragon. So that's it for the extra deck. And then 2 tokens, 3rd technical token, that's it for those cards. And now onto the side deck. I run 1 DD Crow, so that's 2 in total. It's just for the fact of, it'll remove the wind-up hunter, it'll put in work against a lot of other decks, like zombies or anything like that.
Insectors.
Insectors, yeah. Remove that hornet. And then I run 2 fossil dinos. It's good against a mirror match. The mirror match in any card game I've always had trouble with, so I kind of side heavily against the mirror match. Those do a lot of work, especially if you summon this after an Evolzar monster and kind of protect it, then it pretty much shuts your opponent's deck down in a lot of circumstances. So I run 1 Kaiku and 2 Cyber Dragons. The Kaiku is just good against any deck that revolves around the graveyard, and a lot of decks revolve around the graveyard right now, whether it's like wind-ups after they loop you, or anything like that, or, agents before they got hit, or plants before they got hit. So, I mean, Kaiku might not be as relevant now, but still, removing their hornets is very important. Cyber Dragon is kind of there to get rid of Thunder Kings, and then just for the Chimera Tech play against Kara Courier. And then I also side 1 more Smashing Ground. If people are running heavy Reaper count or anything like that, Smashing Ground just helps get around certain cards. Simple 1-for-1 removal. Book of Moon, I side it. It helps against Rabbit or any kind of synchro play. It's very, the utility level is very high on it, so that's why I like it. I made the 3rd Mystical Space Typhoon if I ever have trouble with too much back row, but I really don't, so it kind of usually just stays in the sideboard. Now, Chain Disappearance, I probably want to run another copy of it because it hits pretty much every deck out there right now. So it's all around good. So, I mean, you probably should run a second one. I don't have my hands on a second one right now. But I run 2 Bottomless, good against a mirror match, any deck with the high attack monsters. And I run 2 Mirror of Oaths. Now this card, don't know what it does. If your opponent special summons from their deck, it'll kill that monster that was just special summoned from the deck, and you'll draw a card. So it replaces itself and kills your opponent's card. Now, decks like Insectors will special summon with Dragonfly. Decks like Wind-Ups will special summon with Zenmaity. Rabbits will special summon with Rabbit. It helps against pretty much every deck. In testing, I've only done some work with it, but it's a 1-for-1 and it kills them, so it's essentially a 1-for-2. So I really like it, but just testing it out right now. And the last card is 1 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Good against the Insector matchup if you ever run in the Dark Worlds. In theory, it can be good against any Rabbit deck because it'll hit the Tour Guide, anything like that. And that's it for the side deck. So overall, that was my Dino-Rabbit deck profile for you. Any questions, just post in the comment section. Please rate, subscribe. We're new. Teach us things if there's anything we're not doing correctly. But hopefully we brought you new information, and hopefully you enjoy our stuff. So goodbye and enjoy your life.
That's so broke.